this video, I'm sharing 6 one-minute habits that turn everyday moments like diaper changes and even picking your baby up into powerful opportunities to boost your baby's brain development. Take this first one, which is just a small tweak in the way you pick your little one up, but it's going to help to strengthen your baby's neck, back and core muscles. Now, this is great for all babies, but it's particularly helpful if your baby doesn't like tummy time, as it builds the same muscles that they need for tummy time. So the stronger they get, the easier tummy time becomes. Now, most of us pick our babies up by sliding our hands behind their head and body and then lifting them straight up. And this works, but your baby doesn't really need to do anything. They're just going along for the ride. And this is where that little tweak that I was referring to comes into play. It's called the side scoop. So instead of lifting your baby straight up, you actually place your hands on either side of your baby's chest while they're lying on their back. And then you slowly roll them onto their side and just pause for a moment. Now, what happens next is really cool. Well, as a pediatric OT, I think it's really cool, but your baby will naturally try to lift their head to right themselves. This is their head righting reflex kicking in, and every time it activates, it strengthens your baby's neck, back, and core muscles. Now, from there, you just scoop them up, bringing them up to your chest. This approach takes the same amount of time as picking them up normally, but now every single pickup becomes a little workout for their muscles. And when you think about how many times a day you pick them up, that adds up pretty quickly. Now, this next one turns that boring daily task of changing diapers into the perfect opportunity to help your baby learn to talk. I call it the Sports Commentator, and it's exactly what it sounds like. All you need to do is give a play-by-play of the diaper change, narrating exactly what's happening as it happens. So it might sound a little like this. Time for a diaper change. Down, down, down you go. Pants off, diaper off, legs up, up, up. Here comes the wipe, 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 wipe. Now stick the tab, stick. All finished. Now, I know it feels a little silly to have a full conversation with someone who can't talk back, but when you narrate what you're doing, you're helping your baby connect the words to the action. For example, when you say up, up, up and lift their legs, they start to realize that that feeling means up. And because you change their diaper so many times a day, they get to practice this lesson over and over, and this helps them build their understanding of what words mean. Now, this is important because before babies can start talking, they first need to grasp what that word means and how it sounds. So by narrating these everyday diaper changes, you're building up their word bank. That way, when they're ready to start talking, they've already got the words stored up and ready to go. Now, if you are wondering when that moment will actually happen or when to expect any of the other big milestones in this first year, I've put together a free developmental milestone guide that lays it all out. It breaks down exactly what to expect at 3, 6, 9, and 12 months of age, as well as the signs that may indicate that your baby needs a little bit of extra help. And I've popped a link to that in the description below if you want it. Once that clean diaper is on, you can immediately transition to the next habit, which is a quick burst of tummy time that helps to strengthen your baby's back and neck muscles. So while they are lying on the change table, simply roll your baby from their back onto their tummy. Then get down to their level so that you're face to face with them and place your hand on their bottom. When you do this, you shift their center of gravity downwards, which means there's less weight at the top, and this makes it physically easier for them to push up with their arms and lift their head. Then you just want to distract them by singing a song to make this mini tummy time session last a little bit longer, aiming for 60 seconds at first. This is what we call a microdose. It's short enough to avoid the tears or at least minimize them, but effective enough to build that muscle strength in their neck and back. And then as they get stronger, you can simply add more verses to the song to keep them there for a little bit longer. But for now, that quick 60-second burst is a win. Now, speaking of quick wins, here's another one for you that takes just 3 seconds, and it's hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. This ensures that you won't miss out on future videos like this one, which are packed with tips to help support your little one's development. Now, something we know from research is there is a massive word gap between kids who are read to and those who aren't. In fact, a study by Logan and colleagues estimated that children who are read just one book a day will hear about 290,000 more words by the time they enter kindergarten compared to those who aren't. And research shows that hearing these words early on doesn't just teach them language, but it actually trains their brain to process information faster. And processing speed and vocabulary size at age 2 is one of the strongest predictors of their reading ability and academic success once they start school. So the habit here is simple. Read at least one board book to your little one every day. Now, of course, when they are this little, they don't have the attention span for a full story. So initially, don't worry about reading every single word in the book. Instead, use a technique called point and label. This is where you just open the page, point to a picture, and then name it. So you might say, look, it's a dog, woof woof. This is one of the most effective things that you can do at this age because it helps them link the word directly to the image. And then as they get older and their attention span increases, you can absolutely read the full story. This next habit comes straight from research at Harvard University, and it's one of the most powerful things that you can do for your baby's social development. And that's because it teaches your baby the most basic rule of conversation. When I speak, I get a reaction. We call this habit serve and return, and that's because it's like a game of tennis. Your baby always starts the match, and they serve the ball by making a sound, smiling, or wiggling their body to get your attention. And your job is to hit the ball back, and you do this by making eye contact and responding. So you might mimic their sound, smile back, or you just might talk to them. Then you keep this back and forth volley going until they look away, which is their way of saying game over. Now, it sounds simple, but this back and forth interaction is the foundation of every relationship they'll ever have. Plus, when you return their serves with words, you're helping them grasp what those words mean. But here's the catch. You can't play serve and return if something else is stealing your attention. And one of the biggest attention thieves in most homes is the TV. It is so tempting to leave the TV on for company or background noise, and you might even think all that talking coming from the TV is exposing them to more words, so it must be good for their development. But an MIT study found that it's specifically the back and forth interaction where they make a sound and you respond that builds their language skills. A TV lacks that crucial part, which is the response. It just keeps talking whether your baby responds or not. So all those words that they're hearing just don't sink in the way a real conversation would. In fact, studies show that when the TV is on in the background, 3 things happen that can actually slow down your baby's development. First, the conversation stops. In a quiet room, adults generally speak around 940 words per hour to their child. But when that TV is turned on in the background, that drops to about 170 words per hour. So basically, we go silent without realizing it. Second, the serve gets missed. Because of that background noise, those little coos and babbles are harder to hear, meaning that important game of tennis never gets started. And finally, their play breaks down. The flashing lights and sounds coming from the TV actually distract your baby, and this stops them from entering deep play, which means that they're missing out on that opportunity to practice their motor skills and problem-solving abilities. So the habit to adopt today is simple. If you're not actually watching the TV, turn it off. By simply turning it off, you are instantly clearing the path for better language, better focus, and better play. But here's the thing about play. It isn't always easy, and at some point your baby is going to reach for that ball and watch it roll away, or they'll attempt to crawl and just not get there. How you respond in those moments shape whether they give up or keep trying. And that ability to keep going even when things are hard, that's resilience. And you actually start building it in your baby's first year. Now, this doesn't mean leaving them alone to struggle and cry. There's a simple 3-step process that you can use to support your little one through these tricky moments and build that resilience at the same time. I walk you through the whole thing in this video right here. It's a small shift in how you respond, but it makes a real difference, both in how your baby handles frustration and keeps trying, and in how confident you feel helping them through it. So make sure you watch that one next.